Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode number 68 of Monkeywrenching the Beast. There goes the train. Bye, train. I found it after the end of the last episode, and it was out in the redwoods without a locomotive. So the best that I can guess is that the locomotive ran out of water and blew up. Sometimes when it sits up there, there's no way to keep it full of water. I'd rather it sat under the liquid loader, but the liquid loader always gives a redstone signal when it's full and sends the train off. So I might have to put another liquid loader afterwards. Anyway, I wanted to continue work today on our advanced power management over here in the steam boiler room, the power plant. Last time we got the tanks of biomass and biofuel to shut off the means of production when they're full. I can't pronounce. Reminded me that Tesseracts use 25% of the energy sent through them, which is fair for teleporting MJ like that. But I don't want to lose 25%. If that teleportation is not necessary, it's an unnecessary loss of power, and we want to make this as efficient as possible. So I spent some time between the episodes directly wiring some things up with the energy conduit. So under here, let me get my portable hole. The one that goes to the logger, which was, oops. That was bad. I'll be right back. Lesson learned, don't try to look in an energy tesseract with a portable hole. So this one that goes to the logger, which is right over there, was the easiest one to get rid of. So now it's directly connected with the redstone energy conduit. So we can get rid of that, and we've got another energy tesseract back if we need it. So the wiring in here is not the prettiest, but that's kind of why I make basements for wiring too. Anyway, the 4 loggers there and there just get the conduit directly. Now those are 2, and then there's another 2 over there. And then I did the same thing with the energy that goes to the magma crucibles for the lava tank. I need some dirt. Cover that up. Yeah, so let me see. This was to the logger over there, and we're only giving it 40 MJ, which is probably more than it needs. They seem to be working just fine with that, 10 MJ each. This one is for the bees, which may draw heavily on an occasion. Mostly it's just the squeezer making honey right now, and the centrifuge going all the time. But those don't seem to be using that much. It seems like no more than 10 at a time is being used by them right now, so that's not too bad. These 2 are slated to go to the stills when it's needed, and I've got these set at 60 each because these can use up to 120, I believe. There was 20 of them, and they can use up to 6 MJ each. So this is a way to set that. Where's my little portable hole? They're connected together with the redstone conduit, and that goes right over there. Now here, this one is just sort of an accessory one. It's the transfer if I ever have miscellaneous power needs elsewhere short term. And then this one was my main strategy for shunting the excess power that's not being used when we're not producing biomass and biofuel, which right now is actually most of the time, because the creosote is still running this and this, and this one's being run off the charcoal, which is all the coke ovens down here. Whole 64 of them down here are constantly producing. So yeah, so I went ahead and also linked this up directly, wired it up directly all the way to the glacier warehouse. You can see it goes up here and then sends it all the way down the utility corridor to the glacier warehouse. And I'll take you over there and show you what's happening. But first we can take this out and just leave it like that. And I think I'm going to set this up. I'm going to double the amount of power, and I'm going to switch it from these. And I'll show you how I'm going to do that in a second. First, let me just show you again what's happening. Basically, lava created through a magma crucible is one of the more efficient ways to turn MJ into EU. And I do that with these geothermal generators here. I got a big old bank of them that I use to create power that's sent to these MFSUs, which goes to these mass fabricators here. This was all being run off the free lava of the nether before, and this tank was our main power source for everything for a while there, for the most part. But now I'm making it so we create all this lava ourselves. So what I did is now this is the terminus of that line of conduit that I showed you started all the way over there in the plant power plant for the iron lava tank, which is right here. And actually, I must have done, no, it's I think it's working, or maybe not. These aren't glowing red. So, okay, I must have messed up the settings back there. I probably didn't have this set right. So we'll go back and do that in a second. But basically, any surplus power is turning, right now it's turning cobble into lava. It'll actually be more efficient when we do this with netherrack, because netherrack takes a lot less energy to melt, and you get a bonus for it. Last I figured out, you get like a 25% energy gain from when you use the lava if you use netherrack, whereas the cobble is more of a one-to-one. But for now, we have plenty of cobble, and I just didn't feel like setting up a quarry or something in the nether right now. And plus, part of the advantage of this is not chunk loading in the nether, so that we can have the extra FPS from not doing it. Always trying to keep that FPS decent, and it still suffers. So in last episode, I put one of these magma crucibles in. Then I realized I could do 3, and now I'm actually realizing that I can do 6. So it will actually shunt all the power, or at least except for the logger and the bees, that's being used by the steam generation over there. And then we're going to make it so this shuts off when we need to create liquid fuels over there. So I've got this running, filling these extra dimensional barrels up all the way with the cobble. You can see over here I've got it, they've got pretty much full. They've used what's missing, emptying out my big giant storage banks of cobble, which these 6 are actually absorbing most of it at the moment. This was one of my early game ways to store all the extra stuff from the quarrying, which was good because I've put it to multiple uses for scrap and now for lava, and I'm not even done with it yet. Anyway, I'll probably stream that down now that we have access to extra dimensional barrels. Although to do that, I actually want to do the blaze farms first, which is probably going to be the very next episode. We'll see. But just to have a really good source of the blaze rods for all this extra dimensional barreling, and then they will become a fuel source in themselves as well. Okay, so put down those extra magma crucibles. Let's pipe them up. Let's see, we need autarkic gates. What do I got? I got a bunch of them here, and we need some wood pipe. So just go ahead and pipe those up like that and spin them around, and then put the gates on, and let's make sure that these are set right. We just want that one with an input, and this one will be the output. So we set them all like that. No biggie. And one more. Azo. Okay, so that should be set right. And then we want these to say when these have work, which comes right in here somewhere. I'm not seeing it. Can store energy. Generally, These ones I have it set. Oh, inventory empty. That's how I did it. Right. So inventory empty, energy pulsar. Inventory empty. Oop, missed it. Energy pulse. Stuck there. And I'll do it one more time over here. I keep missing it. Try again. Energy pulsar. Okay. Those send a shot of cobble into here. And the space in the inventory setting doesn't work. So you just use that. And they get about 10 at a time, which is fine. Those are glowing red, which actually means they're getting power. Why these don't seem to be working, I don't know. I have to figure out what's going on here. Give me a second. So those need 30 each, and there's 6 of them. So we're going to need to set up another redstone energy cell setup over here. And there's another one. And let me get some conduit. Okay, so we're going to expand this system. I'm going to lose my symmetry, which is going to drive me nuts, but we'll have to live with that. And this isn't necessary, but I've just been setting up a kind of rule for every one of these I put an extra one, which is really not doing anything except just being a giant energy storage, but that's fine. So let's put that there. And let me see, that needs its setting changed. That needs to be out. And both of these should be 90. We probably lose something like, I don't know what it is in the conduit, like 5%. So let me see, what can I click on these with? Yeah, so that's fine. We'll leave that at 100. That one's already at 100. Let me go ahead and hook up the conduit to this one as well. Oops, that was the wrong one. We want to keep that separate. To this one as well. And was it full already? Sorry, mouse was sticking there. Yeah, it's full. So both of those are good. This one needs to be going out. And I already confirmed to myself that the other one's going out. So that should be plenty of power going over to the those magma crucibles. So before I do my last little fancy thing here, let me go make sure that those are working okay. Okay, I figured out why they're not working. The tank is full, so they can't do anything, and they're full. So that's working great. The next thing will be to set up this lava getting used. Basically, I want to put another tank under it, and so there's a depot, so we're never completely out of lava. And then I want to put a gate on this that sends it a redstone signal that says whenever this is full, and we'll toggle a latch, a red power toggle logic gate, which is basically the same as the old T flip-flop from vanilla, that will then get this whole assembly going, that it will make the UU matter over here from a whole lava tank's worth of energy that's in here. That's a fairly big project. Not sure if I'll get that today. Let me do a couple other things first. I might do it in between and then show you. But let's go back and finish the last step over here at the plant power plant. So what I wanted to do is basically this power that is going to the lava tank, making the lava from the cobblestone. This is what happens when the energy is not being used otherwise. So we always know that that's being stored. And the lava is basically a storage for that energy when it's not being used. So we make sure that nothing's being wasted here. Now, if the whole biomass biofuel production assembly gets turned on over here, and this whole assembly over here, the fermenters and the squeezers, that will be using all the power that is going to the lava. So what we're going to do is put gates on these, or at least one of these, and it's going to make things look ugly maybe over here. We'll see what happens, but it's all function, beauty and function. So I think we only need one gate over here because both of these work together. I'll see, but let's start there, and actually that's right in the middle. So, oh, and we wanted to check this one. Let's see if that works out. So here's a gate, and I actually didn't probably need the iron one, but I want to set it so that, yeah, actually let me get a different gate real quick. I don't need the iron one as far as I know, because I'm not using a pipe signal. I'm actually going to use an actual straight redstone signal. So basic gate, let's knock this off, get our piece back here, and put that there. And then we want the gate to say, when this is full, full energy. So hopefully we're reading that. Are we getting the right signal? Yeah, let me run through those again and make sure that they're saying no energy is positive, which is wrong. Energy stored, that's correct. Can store energy, that's correct. Full energy. We'll have to test this, but the idea is that if this is full, that means these aren't running. These will only be running when everything else is running. So then we can take that. We're going to tell it to give a redstone signal when that's the case. And take that redstone signal over here, give it to both of these, and tell them to only operate when they get a redstone signal. So we're changing the signal required status from low to high. And so that should be working for those guys now. Hopefully they're giving energy. We'll find out. That will mess this guy up. So that needs to change. Actually, it's pretty simple how to fix this. I can just make it ignore redstone signal altogether. So then it won't matter whether this is on or not. And then these will just continue to get triggered by that. So not the prettiest setup at that point, but yeah, the beauty is then if it works, and we can always do something different with this. But right now, this is kind of our control panel, so I like being able to see it. Okay, so to see if it all works, I'm down here in the lower level with the coke ovens. I'm gonna, oops, take that out of my hand. I'm gonna shut off the flow of creosote to the liquid fueled boiler, the bigger one, and then as soon as the creosote runs out of this liquid duct, I'll hook up the biofuel one to it, and then as soon as we start seeing some biofuel being used, this energy will start getting used, and we'll see if this whole switching system works. So hopefully it does. So let's make a few more things happen real quick while we got some time in this episode. Alright, I think we're about to use up the last bucket of creosote in here, or pretty close to it. I'll show you when we get there. Okay, right at the end, filling up with biofuel. So now that this is, well, I guess it's not less than 100%, but it's getting used. And hopefully, okay, these are drawing some power right now, which should mean that these are less than max. They are. That one was anyway. It was not entirely full, and this is still saying full energy. I wonder if this is messing it up. Let's see what that does. Okay. So that is not full energy, and this still thinks it is. So that's not going to work. If these only worked correctly. Is there a better... It actually still thinks it's full. I guess that is... Maybe there's a threshold to when it thinks it's empty. Alright. Well, so last thing we're going to do today, even though I had a lot of other plans, is we're going to put that tank under here. Because this whole system isn't going to work unless this thing is not full. So I could start using it for this over here as well. But I want to set up an automatic system. So let me put a tank under here and I'll get right back to you. Okay, so in here in another tank of the same dimension, the 7 by 7 and 8 high, which at the time I thought was the biggest tank. Turned out there was an Easter egg of a 9 by 9 tank in honor of Direwof. And there's a little lag. And then I want to make sure that this drains fully into here. One would probably be enough, but I have a lot of these valves anyway. And that would look like a nice pattern when it goes in. So that should connect the two tanks when this one's functional. We'll see in a second. So let's go ahead and seal this one up. Actually, let me put a little bit more valves on the bottom. This one goes to the assembly table and the whole power system I have for that. Let's go ahead, put some more. Let's do all the corners, and we'll put one in the center, and we can always add more if we need. I didn't know that when I originally made these before. Pick up those precious blocks, and let's seal it up and see if it connects. Alright, last block, forming, filling. Excellent. Okay, so let me do a few things from here. One of those is I'm going to move this tesseract down to the bottom. This is just for when I use liquid ducts for lighting. And they're not supposed to lose lava, but they do. So they need a small trickle supply of lava at all times. So we've got to provide that with this. Let me get some more light in here actually, so everybody can see what's going on a little bit better. And then the tesseracts can't connect to the valves directly, so I gotta have at least two liquid ducts in between, because one is an outie and the other one will be the innie. Need a lever anywhere here, oops, just to turn that on, and then we can put a tesseract here and we'll set it as the lava tank. Send only, click that, and now all our nice fancy lighting in our Thaumcraft base and everything will stay on. So this one is almost finished draining into this one. Next step here, as I described before, I'm going to put a gate on one of the valves, and whenever it's full, it's then going to use up this top one completely, making UU matter over here. But that's going to be for the next episode, I think. We're going to do 3 of these advanced power managements to get all the stuff I wanted to get done in one. But then all this power stuff should be humming pretty nicely, and everything being put to use, all coming from that turtle-powered tree farm. And yeah, and we'll move on to other more fun stuff, like moving back to building the village, and oh yeah, we got to make a blaze farm, and all kinds of stuff coming up. So, but that's it for today. Try not to go too long. Thank you so much for watching and commenting and appreciating and giving ideas and feedback and likes and favorites and all that kind of stuff, and subscribing to the channel and everything that lets me know that people are appreciating these. So I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.